One day, I was heading to Rite Aid to pick up my mother's prescriptions. During this time, we were struggling financially. I was praying that it wouldn't cost too much, as she needed it. I soon got to the store and went to the pharmacy counter. When they told me the price, I checked my wallet, and sure enough, I was short. I asked the pharmacist if they had any smaller amounts of that medication available to purchase. The pharmacist said that unfortunately they weren't allowed to sell less than prescribed. Just as I was praying and trying to figure out what to do, a man came up behind me and said, "I'll pay for this." Before I could say anything, he handed the card to the pharmacist. I was so shocked and thankful that I didn't realize it was happening. The guy got his card back, and the pharmacist handed me the medication. I left but wanted to thank him, so I went back inside the store. Yet he was nowhere in sight. The pharmacist wasn't sure where he went, and he wasn't in the parking lot. But I was so very thankful for the kind miracle that happened that night. It was late one evening as I was driving home from doing errands during the day. At one point, I noticed my low fuel light came on. I decided that I would get gas at the next gas station. I pulled up to one of the pumps and got out of the car. Just as I was looking for my card, I realized something. I forgot my credit cards. I started to get a little worried because I still had a bit of driving to do before arriving home. That's when I began to pray that I would be able to find some change in my purse. A few moments later, a white work truck came up and parked at the pump in front of mine. A man stepped out of his truck and said hello as he smiled. I smiled back and said hi. Not even a few seconds later, he came and swiped his card, saying, "I felt as if I was supposed to bless someone today, and for some reason you're that person. Feel free to fill up your car." I was so shocked. I didn't even know what to do. I thanked him over and over again and told him that I really appreciated it. He smiled and laughed and then told me to have a blessed evening. I said the same thing to him. After that, he just left. My car now had a full tank of gas, and I made it home safely. I never saw him again, but I was so thankful for that miraculous meeting. For reference, this story is from a guy's perspective. I was around 15 or 16 years old when this took place. This story happened one year during a vacation with my family. We were in Florida, and on this particular day, we went to the Kennedy Space Center. The place had about 3 floors to it. It was pretty cool. Anyway, when you get there, you are assigned a tour group. We had about 30 people in our group, as we all arrived there on a bus. Anyways, we got to the center, and our group started walking around. At certain points, we were allowed to stop and take pictures. At one point, I stopped to take a picture of a display case that was a module of a space station. That's when a guy came up to me and started giving me pointers about how I could take pictures. He was giving me advice on how to get the glare out of my photos. It kind of struck me as odd because I don't really remember him when we were on the bus. He was about my height, had glasses like me, didn't have a beard, was between ages 60 and 70, and was wearing a baseball hat. After that, he just left, and I didn't see him in our group again. I didn't really think much of it until a little bit later when he came back up to me. However, this time, the conversation was a little more interesting. He began to tell me very specific details about himself. I don't know why he chose me, but he did. He was telling me that he wished he never started smoking because it gave him many issues and that he ended up having a lot of surgeries because of it. It kind of felt like he was warning me not to do the same. I didn't think much of it, and he eventually stopped talking to me and just left. I didn't see him around the building or anything again. Even when we got on the bus, I looked at the people who were coming on with us, and he was not with them. For some reason, his conversation with me is sticking in my mind. A few years ago, I started thinking of actually smoking, as I thought it would be a good stress reliever. However, this story popped into my mind every time I thought about it, and I never ended up smoking. I sometimes still wonder, to this day, who that guy was.